Just moments before she vanished forever, she made one strange request. It was a Saturday night when a woman driving along a dark, rural highway saw something unsettling. Headlights were pointing straight up into the sky from a ditch on the side of the road. She pulled over immediately. A car had crashed. It looked bad. The driver's side was crumpled, and the airbags had deployed. She rushed over to help, expecting to find someone seriously injured. Inside, a young woman was sitting in the driver's seat. The witness asked if she was okay, if she needed her to call 911. The young woman looked shaken, her eyes wide with fear. But she didn't seem to have any visible injuries. She just kept staring straight ahead into the darkness. Then she turned to the witness and said something that sent a chill down her spine. "Please don't call the police." The witness was taken aback. Why wouldn't someone want help after a crash like this, before she could press further? Another car pulled up. A man got out and approached the wrecked vehicle, also offering to help. Ida was told not to call the police. The young woman seemed frantic, insisting she was fine and that a friend was coming to pick her up. Confused but not wanting to force the issue, both witnesses decided to wait nearby, just to make sure she was truly safe. They watched from their cars as the young woman paced back and forth by the roadside, constantly looking at her phone. Minutes turned into what felt like an eternity. The young woman was still there, alone on the side of the dark highway. Then something strange happened. One of the witnesses, the man who had stopped, decided he couldn't just leave. He felt something was deeply wrong. He drove a short distance down the road, turned around, and came back to the crash site, intending to insist on calling for help. But when he got there, only a few minutes later, she was gone. The wrecked car was still in the ditch, its door hanging open, but the young woman had vanished into thin air. The other witness, the woman who had first discovered the crash, had also driven off. Assuming the young woman's friend had arrived, when authorities finally arrived, they were baffled. A thorough search of the area was conducted. They used dogs, helicopters with thermal imaging, and a large team of volunteers. They scoured the dense woods and fields surrounding the crash site. But they found absolutely nothing. No footprints, no signs of a struggle. No discarded items. It was as if she had simply disappeared from the face of the earth. Her purse, wallet, and phone were all left behind in the car. This made the police even more suspicious. Why would someone flee a minor car accident and leave all their personal belongings behind? It just didn't make any sense. Investigators dug into her background, trying to find any clue that could explain her bizarre behavior. They discovered she had recently been struggling with personal issues and had made some erratic decisions leading up to her disappearance. But none of it seemed to point to a reason for her to run away from a car crash and abandon. Everything, friends and family were heartbroken and confused. They described her as a responsible and kind person, not someone who would get into this kind of trouble. The case grew colder with each passing day. Was she running from something or someone? Did she get a ride from a friend as she claimed, or did a stranger with sinister intentions pick her up? Or did she simply wander into the vast, dark woods, lost and disoriented from the crash? Theories began to swirl. Some believed she had staged her own disappearance to start a new life. The insistence on not calling the police fed this theory. Maybe she had a secret she was desperate to keep hidden, and the accident threatened to expose it. Others speculated about foul play, perhaps the crash wasn't an accident at all. Maybe someone had forced her off the road, and the person who picked her up was not a friend. The dark highway would have been the perfect place for an abduction. With few witnesses and plenty of places to hide, the fact that her scent trail went cold right at. The roadside suggests she got into another vehicle. But whose vehicle? To this day, the case remains one of the most perplexing unsolved mysteries. The chilling plea, "Please don't call the police," echoes in the minds of everyone who hears her story. It's the central piece of the puzzle that no one can quite fit. What was she so afraid of that? Vanishing seemed like a better option than facing the authorities. It's a question that haunts her family and the investigators who worked on her case. Every lead has been a dead end. Every theory just speculation. She walked away from her car that night and stepped into a mystery that has endured for years, leaving behind nothing but questions. Her story serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes the most terrifying thing isn't what happens, but the unanswered questions left in its wake. Thanks for watching. And if you found this story as mysterious as I did, make sure to follow for more.